Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the first of the series of Friday Morning Chats with Lynn. So grab your choice of coffee, cocoa, tea, water, juice, whatever it may be, and join me in a cup of coffee or a cup of something. Today's topic is Let's Talk Turkey. So, this series is to encourage and just chat on a light topic or maybe a heavy topic, but in a light way. And I'm going to be doing this on every Friday. So if you have a topic you would like covered, and just put a note in the comments below and we're going to chat about it. So someone mentioned to me, actually I've had a few people mention it in several different ways. And I hadn't heard of this trend, and somebody asked me about it, about everybody's talking about canceling Thanksgiving and canceling Christmas because the cost of food and a bunch of other things. And I was like, what in the world? And then I got something today from the Weather Channel, believe it or not, and it popped up on my phone at work, and it said, people are canceling Thanksgiving due to the fact of the cost of turkeys. Now, let me just say this. Many of you don't celebrate Thanksgiving because it's really an American holiday, but maybe you have some other type of form of that. I don't know around the world if there's other, types of seasons that you celebrate that it's just a Thanksgiving time. And even Christmas, not everybody celebrates Christmas. But for the sake of just keeping it simple, we're talking Thanksgiving and Christmas. Most people on Thanksgiving and or Christmas, at least one of the two holidays, serve turkey. You might serve ham, some people do lasagna, whatever. But turkey is kind of the traditional thing to serve. And I guess because turkeys are going to cost money, I don't know. But here's my take on this, because I've had a lot of people ask. I would say, first of all, for the past 2 years, we've lived in fear. We've lived in panic. We've lived in the fear of not having, the fear of it costing too much, the fear of the what ifs. I am up to here with it. I am up to here. I am telling you, I'm up to here. I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of worrying about what ifs and all the rest. I am not saying that the cost of things are not high. I am not saying that once in a while you can't find what you want and so on and so forth. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is I am tired of living in it, whatever it might be. You can fill in the blanks. I remember many years ago, Graham and I, when we were dirt poor, we were we were really hurting. And that Thanksgiving, we just felt like we needed to be alone and away from family. Now, I did not grow up in a big family. My husband did, but my immediate family, it was just me and my two sisters. But my mom had a big family. My dad had a big family. And so holidays, everybody got together, all the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, and it was always crazy. Crazy fun, great memories, some weird memories too, in every family. And my husband's family, same thing. They'd all get together. And that year, I think because we went through a really rough time, financially and emotionally and everything else, our oldest was very young. I think he was maybe 3 at the time. We decided to have a quiet Thanksgiving at home. And my parents thought we were crazy. It was one of the most memorable Thanksgivings Graham and I have had in our marriage. We couldn't afford much. We got a Cornish hen. Now, I don't know if you've ever purchased a Cornish hen. Let me put my cup down because I'm talking with my hands too much. But we got a Cornish hen, and they're tiny little things. Tiny, tiny, tiny. We cooked that little Cornish hen up, and I don't even remember what else. I probably did potatoes and green beans. I don't even know. But I do remember that Cornish hen. And we put that on the table, and I put a candle, and I got the best china out, and I put the tablecloth down, and did a centerpiece and lit a candle, and we put on some nice music in the background, and the 3 of us had a Thanksgiving with one small Cornish hen. We devoured that and all the food around. We had leftovers, believe it or not, And it was the most memorable Thanksgiving, maybe out of all the Thanksgivings Graham and I have had together, except for our first. That's a whole nother story, and it was a good one. But I remember that. And I remembered somebody saying, Cornish hen, you can't do that for Thanksgiving. Well, who said? Who said you can't do peanut butter and jelly for Thanksgiving? Who said you can't do rice and beans for Thanksgiving? My husband and I were talking about this last night, and he said, you look at what the Pilgrims did. They gathered what they had, and they shared it with the Indians. Thanksgiving is a time to get together and be grateful and thankful. I have many times, I teach seminars at different women's events, and I have a seminar, it's called Attitude of Gratitude. And I just shake my head sometimes and I think, at least for me, when I stop being thankful and grateful for what I have currently in my life, I tend to get myself in a tizzy mentally and emotionally, a place that I don't want to be. And I have had to learn to be thankful and grateful for what I have. One of the lessons I've learned years ago, Graham and I were going through a rough patch in our marriage, and I wanted out. And my husband insisted absolutely, positively, no, we're not. Looking back now, I knew that was the Lord's leading in both of our lives, but that Graham just knew that we were meant to be together. And I just struggled and struggled, and it really wasn't so much Graham, it's just life had, kind of wedged its way in there, and it was doing a number on me. And I remember one night just sort of distraught in bed, and I was praying, and the Lord just said to me, write down everything you're thankful for in your husband. Now, when you're mad at someone or you're not in the best frame of mind about someone, you're like, thankful for what? And that was exactly my attitude of like, for what? And so what I started to do is I started to think of the little things he did that day. Maybe he held the door for me. Or maybe he made me a cup of coffee. I don't know. I don't remember. And it was probably maybe 2 or 3 things. I don't think it was, a long list. Because remember, I was not in a good frame of mind. But I started doing that every night. And I did that for a month. And it became easier. And I began to recognize things in a more healthier perspective. Oh, wait a minute. He not only did that, but he did this. Get my drift? I don't know if this holiday season has you down. If the cost of turkeys are going to go up, who cares? Don't buy a turkey. Buy a chicken. Do a roast chicken. You can do all kinds of stuff with a roast chicken. Buy roast beef, but do pork chops. Get smoked sausage. Do a BLT sandwich. Do, like I said, get a can of SpaghettiOs. Does it really matter what's on the table? Or is what matters is your heart of gratitude and thanksgiving and having your family together? Listen, you can do a spin-off of the Friendsgiving. How many of you have done a Friendsgiving? I've never had one or have been to one. My son and daughter-in-law do it every year. They've done it for 9 years now. And I know a lot of other people do it. And I think it's a great concept. Everybody brings a dish. Not one person is stuck with one thing. Do a smorgasbord. Everybody maybe go vegetarian this year. Do you have to have meat? Vegetables and pastas and salads and charcuterie boards and cheese and crackers. And there's so much out there that we could be doing. But getting together with our family and friends during a holiday season, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatever other celebration that you might have as a holiday, it's all about being together with our friends and our family. And Thanksgiving started out to be thankful for what we have. Now Thanksgiving is this celebration of turkey and food and planning ahead for Black Friday, and we've lost sight of the meaning behind the actual day. So I want to tell you, let's talk turkey. If there is no turkey to be had or it's too expensive, just don't do it. Do what you can afford. Listen, you can get a roast chicken for $5. You can go to, I know I say stuff like this all the time, but if you had to go to Dollar Tree, you can get a box of stuffing, a can of green beans, a can of cream of mushroom soup, and a can of gravy at the Dollar Tree, and you can make, and a bag of instant potatoes. You can have instant potatoes, you can make green bean casserole and stuffing for about $5 and change. And then you go ahead and get your roast chicken for $5 or a Cornish hen or whatever you want to do. And you can have a Thanksgiving dinner $10 to $15. And I think that's reasonable for a family of 4, thereabouts. Throw in some cheap biscuits, throw in a side dish of something else, add some rice and beans to it, which are very inexpensive, and stretch that meal out so everybody gets a little bit more. You can really go cheap this Thanksgiving, or at least on the cheaper end, than worrying about how am I going to afford all of the traditional Thanksgiving foods. It's not about the food, it's about the people, it's about your heart, it's about the love that you show toward your family, it's about being thankful. I want to be able to sit down at Thanksgiving and look across the table at my 3 kids and just tell each and every one of them why I love them, why I'm proud of them, what I find so fascinating about them, what's their uniquenesses, what do I really admire in them. I always tease my kids and I tell them when I grow up, I want to be just like you. And I tell them what I see in them. There are things in each of my kids that I look at and I think, wow, I would love to have that personality. I would love to be able to do some of the things that they do. I want to look across the table at my husband and after 35 years, remind him that I love him more now than I did the day I fell in love with him. I want to remind him that I'm proud of him. I want to remind him that he has courage, and he has courage to face each new day and to get up out of bed knowing that he has a disability that could set him back that day, and yet it never phases him. He gets up to serve his family daily. He gets up every morning with me to make sure I head off to work, and I've got my mug of coffee, and I got a K-cup for work, and I have whatever I might need for meals that day. My husband is always looking to take care of me. I need to remember to be thankful and grateful for those moments that I have on a daily basis with my husband. I'll tell you, when you start thinking of the things that you're thankful for, the things that you're grateful for, you really start to realize how blessed you are. You know, there is much in little. You might not have a lot of money. You might have a little bit of money, and you might have a little house, and you might have a little car, and you might have just a little bit of stuff. But if you look around you at what you do have, you're probably more blessed than most people around you. And I think it's in the attitude that the sign that I had at the beginning of the video, your attitude determines your direction. If you're going to walk away from this video and be nasty and grumpy, and she doesn't know what she's talking about, and you know everyone's going to cancel Thanksgiving, and you're just going to have a full-blown attitude, go ahead, go in the corner and have your temper tantrum. And when you're done, maybe you can come out and learn to be grateful and thankful for what you do have. There's always something better. There's always something more. There's always something we want and we wish we had. There's always something that someone else has that we could want. My father always said, people say the grass is always greener on the other side, but on the other side of grass is dirt. You know what? It's not always what it seems on the other side. But I'll tell you one thing, when you look at your family and your friends and you start being thankful for what you have, all of a sudden you become radiant and joyful in what you have. People are going to want what you have. And you might say, but I don't have anything. I'm broke. I don't have a whole lot. But what you do have is way more than most people are ever going to have in a lifetime by living a life full of joy, a life full of gratitude. So let's talk turkey. Are you having turkey this Thanksgiving? I have no idea. My plans are right now, yeah, we're going to have turkey. We have turkey every Thanksgiving. That's my plan as of right now. If it's too expensive, we're going another route, and I'll be okay with that too. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for coming over and chatting on me with Friday Morning Chats with Lynn, and we'll catch you all next week, same time, 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and we'll have another chat together. So leave me a comment below on what you would like to see me chat about on Friday Morning Chats with Lynn.